tonight focuses on the state of the nation as Council of State passes vote of confidence on President Bola Tinubu. And I've been speaking with Senator Shuaib Afolabi Salisu, is the chairman Senate Committee on ICT and Cyber Security, and also Honorable Ayodele Adewale. Gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us on the program. Distinguished, let me start with you, the second part of the program. And I'd like us to turn our attention to a significant development. On Friday, a delegation of national leaders of thought, known as the Patriots, met with the president. And the group emphasized the need for a new system of government to tackle pressing challenges such as insecurity, economic underperformance, and poverty. Are we ready? Are we ripe for a constitution change?
Rather, I won't say constitution change, but I will say there's certainly a need to tweak a number of things that we have in a country if the federative unit are to operate at optimal level. I'll give you a few examples. The security architecture, as it were, everybody has complained about it, is certainly not effective enough. You cannot have one police system for the entire country. How would the Inspector General of Police or the Commissioner of Police that is appointed from Abuja will know my village in Odera local government to be able to police it, whereas the local hunters may be able to do a better job? Simply put, we need to look at the constitution in terms of the security architecture. That's one example. I am also from Ogun State. My state is blessed with solid minerals. The cement, large percentage of cement that is being produced in this country comes from Ogun State. Somebody in a cadastral office in Abuja will give mining license. And somebody will come to Ogun State, even without regard to the state government, will mine the lime, as an example, with environmental degradation, and the state gets very little in terms of return from that. We would like to see some changes in the revenue allocation. Ogun State, a number of federal roads cross Ogun State. How will somebody in Federal Ministry of Works in Mabushi know all the roads that are federal roads in Ogun State? And the people of Ogun State don't know the difference between federal roads and the roads that are state roads, because they are not federal citizens. They are citizens of Ogun State who geolocate their pains every now and then when they pass through those bad roads, even when those bad roads belong to federal government. Let's devote more resources to the constituent unit of this country, to the subnationals. Let us find a way to ensure that we give more powers to the subnationals. And a good example that we have seen, the movement in this direction, the local government autonomy, which is good, something in the right direction. But there are a number of other things that we need to do. But the process of constitutional change itself must also be done within what the Constitution envisages. So, we thank the patriots. Let them put their thoughts together. The 10th Assembly, both in the Senate and National and the House of Representatives, we already have committee for constitutional amendment, and we are collating those constitutional amendments that have come from different sources, from members of National Assembly. Even as members of National Assembly, we recognize that the current constitution is suboptimal. If Nigeria must be truly run as a federal system, and if the federating unit will have some breathing space to be able to function optimally within a country that is united, that is prosperous. That prosperity can only come when the constituent unit, the subnationals, are prosperous. The current arrangement where everybody runs to Abuja for monthly allocations, large percentage of allocations, does not augur well for the federal system. So, in principle, we require constitutional changes. Some can be very dramatic, some can be very significant, but whatever constitutional change we envisage must also be done within what the Constitution envisages as a process for amending the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
There are those who have also said, all right, there are those who have also said, perhaps our challenge isn't about the Constitution, but the character and attitude of those who operate it. Is this valid?
They are not mutually exclusive. They are not mutually exclusive in the sense that even when you have the best attitudes and the best value, and yet the Constitution itself hamstrings the subnationals, the best values and the best attitude will not allow the subnational to thrive. On the other hand as well, even if you have the best Constitution, and we also do not have the right disposition, the right attitude, the right value system to complement the Constitution that we have, it will also not get what is optimal. So we need the two. We need change of attitude on the part of all the stakeholders, but we certainly need an article of faith, a document that binds together, that specifies the roles, responsibilities, that delineates the functions of every tier of government, and then allow the subnationals to thrive. When the country was operating a constitution that was based on parliamentary system, in Western region was going at its own pace. And that was the time the Western region established a University of Ife, now called Obafemi Awolowo University. The Eastern region established University of Nigeria. The Northern region established Ahmadu Bello University. Everyone was going at its own pace, but we all were together as part of a federal system. The current system, I believe, is too choking for subnationals. We need a system that allows the subnationals to prosper, but we also, of course, require new attitude, better values, better disposition from the stakeholders in the political process and the citizens as a whole.
All right, Odobadiwale, you heard him. So how do we draw a balance? And also a new document or a further amendment?
Well, it's a sequence of both until we are able to convoke a national conference where all the provision of the Constitution will be reworked in order to suit contemporary realities, and especially for resource control and to create roles for the traditional institution. The traditional rulers also have a lot to do when it comes to issue of security and, of course, management of society and all that. We thank the President for taking the bold step to give more powers to local government and, of course, to sponsor that bill to the National Assembly. There are so many gaps within the Constitution that needs to be reworked. And I was fortunate to be part of the Chief Anthony Enaro-led Pro-National Conference organization. I was the mobilization liaison officer of that conference, and Professor Wole Soyinka was the vice, Dr. Beko was deputy, and we had a lot of heads there. And we came up with a draft constitution for Nigeria. And if that constitution had gone through a referendum, it is far better than what we have now as a Nigerian constitution. Issue of resource control, issue of devolving more powers to different federating units, issue of security, and so many things, even gender. So many things was discussed and reworked, including issue of lowering the political age benchmark, for youth to get involved more. Many of these issues were.
Let's talk about the issue of security. Have we made any progress?
Yes, we have made more progress. The Buhari administration did take us far by helping to create a fiat for states to have their own police, right? It's a very, very good milestone, but we've not been able to achieve it yet. It's still work in progress. So it's not just.
We will achieve that?
No, definitely we will. We will. I mean, with all of the gaps that have come up, so many states are already, ready to push on. Lagos State, through its neighborhood watch and all of that, they are more than ready. You understand? Their Motekun structure is there. If not for that structure, perhaps the Southwest would have been overrun by some bandits and all of these things. And we're more than ready. We're more than ready.
All right. Well, I mean, if you look at the concerns raised by major stakeholders about how it is possible that governors abuse this initiative, is it a major concern for the nation?
Abuse will always happen, and that is why you have a document to put everybody in check. Don't forget that you are going to still have the federal structure there to always check the state structure. Just like you have in the United States of America, you have the FBI there to come in whenever things are not done well appropriately, and especially when it concerns federal crimes and all of that. So we don't have to be afraid of abuse. The judiciary is there. There are checks that will be put within that document in order to put everybody in place. And more importantly, the civil society and the press is there, right? Even just with the cell phone, you can see how police and the military and other security agencies have conformed. Anytime you pick any infraction and you put it out there, the police go there to rectify it. As long as we are in this mundane, right, you cannot have something very holy. Even God said in his holy book that his angels are not even holy before him. So it means that regularly there will be check and you weed out the bad eggs in order to put your system right.
All right. Distinguished, let me come to you, because the president says he's currently preoccupied with economic reform, and that is his first priority, and that once this is in place, as soon as possible, he would take a look at this request made by the patriots. So let's talk about the economy, because just yesterday, the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, has reassured Nigerians that the economy is thriving under President Bola Tinubu's leadership, noting that the country achieved an impressive $55 billion in non-oil exports last year. As a senator, what does this mean for us as a nation?
Well, what it does mean, number one, is that we're on the right track. And as I mentioned earlier, if you look at the indices of measuring traction and the growth in the economy, we are on the right track. Of course, in the immediate terms, some of this will bring some pains that we must continue to recognize that and appreciate the challenges, the sacrifices that Nigerians are going through. But these are sacrifices that are required for our long-term development. And we are happy that those reforms are yielding benefit. We are producing more oil than before. The non-oil foreign exchange earners are also, growing up. We're developing some new stream of income from the solid minerals. All of this, when you put all of this together, it does mean that, as I mentioned earlier, by the time the president is celebrating his second year in office, this conversation will have totally changed, because the benefit of the reforms will have been so manifest. And part of that as well is that more money is also going to the subnationals. And when more money also goes to the subnationals, when you complement this with the massive infrastructural development that's going across the country, it will also unleash the potentials of Nigerians, the entrepreneurship spirit of Nigerians, to also be able to grow, particularly the SMEs. When you look at the fact that the student loan is there to ensure that we do no longer have interruption in the academic calendar of our tertiary institutions, when you look at the consumer loan system that the president has also put in place, meaning that a lot of Nigerians could also afford some comfort of life, even if they don't have to put the cash down in the short term as it happens in some advanced economies. When you look at the initiatives in the SMEs, that is also to empower the small and middle-scale enterprises, who are, by the way, they are the largest employers of labor. They are the engine for economic growth. When you look at all of this and the conversion of fuel, the CNG buses, just about a few days ago, the president launched 30 buses based on CNG in Abuja. When you look at all of these, they come in bits and pieces. But the good thing about it is that they are not silos. They are coming from a well-thought-out plan. And each of these is contributing to our economic development and economic growth. When you look at all of these in totality, you will see that the economy is clearly headed in a direction that will lead to enhanced quality of life of Nigerians, not just a robust economy, an economy that will not be fragile as will be based on a monoproduct like oil. We are diversifying our economy. And we are also empowering our people. We are putting we are turning the potentials of Nigerians into performances in some of the key areas. So look at the SMEs, look at the student loans, look at the CNG, look at now at this point I need to talk about what is also going on in the digital economy space. 3 million Nigerians, young Nigerians are being trained as we speak in new technology, in cyber security, in artificial intelligence. As a country, we have developed a framework to manage our artificial intelligence. We are opening our game in cyber security. And these are resources that are inexhaustible. We can exhaust our oil. We can exhaust our mineral resources. What we cannot exhaust is the brain power of our youth, who constitute 70% of the Nigerian population. And when you have those people, you train them, they are no longer just going to be productive locally. They also have the potential to earn foreign exchange. And good news is this. The good news, and I said this, and I will yield ground to you. The diaspora remittances only come seconds after our earnings from oil. It even comes before foreign direct investment, meaning that if you train these youth, some of them will stay here, some of them may travel, some of them may not even travel, and there will be any foreign currency here. What we need to do, as we're doing under the digital economy space, train the Nigerian youth that the greatest asset, and we must give kudos to Mr. President and the Ministry of Communication, Innovation, and Digital Economy.
All right, because of our time, we need to go in a few minutes. Now, let me round up this conversation with you, Honorable Adewale. The President has called for unity of purpose and more collaboration between the federal government, state governors, National Assembly, and Nigerians. So, how do we sustain a peaceful coexistence in this country?
Is to continue to open or provide for discussion, and of course align with our various responsibilities. Each of the interest groupings that you've laid out have their own responsibility. But far and above all, the citizens also have a responsibility to key in to their civic provision as enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution. Yes, we have a government that we have all voted for, but we also need to build values. We should not forget that people who are elected into office or appointed and what have you have come from various families. So if we don't build the right values in them, and they get into all of these opportunities, they might not be able to impact the goodness that is required. So everything starts from the home, and it ends up in governance.
All right. Distinguished, in less than 1 minute, what's the role of the National Assembly in achieving national integrity? In less than 1 minute.
Very simple. We come from different constituencies. We come from different parts of the country. When we're elected and we become senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the same camaraderie, the same solidarity that we exhibit in the National Assembly, let's transmit this to all our various constituencies. And by the way, Nigerians don't have problems with Nigerians. Let the leaders stop manipulating Nigerians. Nigerians are at peace with each other. And I do believe with the right leadership, this country, our cup is half full, not half empty.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. Senator Shuaib Afolabi Salisu, Chairman, Senate Committee on ICT and Cybersecurity, and also Honorable Ayodele Adewale. Thank you so much for your contribution on the program tonight.
Thank you
so much. And thank you for watching, everyone. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at midnight. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Good night, everyone.